Hi guys, good evening. We're gonna start in 9 p.m. So today we're gonna talk about how do we start back your training after long break. Just share this. I'm trying to share this. Oops. Okay. How are you guys doing after long break? Start to train back. I'll share some tips on it. Okay. Just some sound check. Good. So we have sound. Hello guys. TGIF. Thank God it's Fridays. So I bet. Again, Selamat Hari Raya to all the Muslim friends. So I bet a lot of people they are celebrate the. So today we're gonna talk about one of the topic is I bet after 8 weeks of MCO open back, I guess a lot of people start back to train, and they kind of like mostly are their seminars and their fitness level are dropped. So if you're doing some like strength trainings at home, and I bet you're gonna slow down the performance drop. Okay, so yep, today I'm gonna share with you how do you gain back some fitness and how do you start back your training. So my advice to you guys is always start back with slow and don't increase your mileage too high and start from some easy jog first. So that is my advice. Okay, so hi guys, good evening guys. My name is Sam. I'm Coach Sam from Rafa's Academy. So yep. Oh, hi Jenny. Yes, resume training outdoor in a week now. So it's been tough, but good. Yes. You're not doing anything, so then you continue to drop the performance. Okay. So I'm gonna share with you. I have some slide here. I'm gonna share with you. Of course, today I'm still gonna share with you how to use the technique to regain back your stamina. Okay. So for example, today I talked to one of my clients, students. He didn't really run for the 45 days, the last 45 days, but he managed to do the drills at home. When he started back to run, yes, maybe out of breath, but he noticed that the stamina and performance is still there, not drop so much. So the drills and the strength training is so important. Okay. Start back here. All right. So let me just show you some slide here. Yep. Oops. Slide. Okay, I will still use the technique as a start back training ground. You guys should know more about it. Okay, let me just. Please feel free to leave your question here. So I'll try to answer from my end. All right, slide. Okay, so without further understands. So again, yes. So these are the three components usually we can start back for after a long break. So first one will be techniques, and second will be the strength training, and the third one will be the condition training. So why these three elements is so important? I just give you examples. Technique is just like your the skill of doing things. Okay, you're doing the sports. Okay, if you don't have the skills, no matter I give you a good tools or give you a good engines, you can't perform it. Just like driving skill. So it's like your economies and how do you minimize your injuries. It's all through technique. Okay, the second part will be the strength training. I bet a lot of people during the MCO they spend a lot of times doing a lot of workout at home. a lot of HIIT trainings. I see a lot of people doing post a lot of picture like HIIT trainings, Tabata. Those are the good workout. So it's better than you're not doing any workout. Okay, single workout. Just like your car, a body kit. So you need to have a very strong body to use your skill, and you can perform better. Okay, so usually people categorize as 1RM and fiber ratio as well. So condition training, usually people train a lot. I'm not trying to say condition training is not important, but usually the sequence have to start from the foundation, from technique and the strength and the condition training. Okay, condition training is just like people usually use the VO2 max to measure your performance, and also use the lactic threshold, aerobic, anaerobics to measure. Okay, what kind of train today? I'm doing an easy run. I'm doing aerobics. So for a good start, right, I would recommend most of you start back from aerobic base phase first. Okay, start to build back your aerobic base. Don't straight away jump into anaerobic, which is some speed works, interval. Start back to aerobic. Build back your foundation first. Okay, but if you can improve using add on some technique and strength, it will be much more better. So, but today I'm going to share with you the most is I'm going to share with you more. Okay. All the information I share came from Dr. Nicholas Romanov. He's the founder of Post Method. It's all based on the book for the past few events. I attended his class from Taiwan and Guangzhou as well. So those are the information I put back together, and I just trying to share with you guys. Okay. Yeah. Dr. background is he's a two-time Olympic coach. Personally, he's from Russia, and he migrated to US 1970 times. And he also trained a lot of elites. Okay, from the chart you can see, I got this is from Hong Kong, so it's all based on Chinese. So he got one of the athletes is ladies from Russia. She can run 2 hours and 20 minutes in the full marathon. So he also trained some elite levels triathlons athletes from like Tim Don, Andrew Johns from UK. Okay, so they are best for after swim bike is 29 minutes 50 seconds, which is pretty fast. Okay, so I still remember Malaysia than Tim Don, I would say, but they are after swim bike they can run this time, which is very good. Okay, so let me share with you what is standard of running technique. So I bet when we do everything, sometimes we also see so when we do something, we're trying to see, what's the standard? Can we follow the standard? So if there's no standard to follow, then how do we know we do it correct or wrong or not? Correct? So yeah, I'm trying to share with you. So I know that there's many people say, oh, we are born to run. So there's one of the book also share about Born to Run. So talking about Tara Munpara, Mexicans, one of the Indian from Mexicans, they are wearing the slippers to run ultra marathons, long distance to find a food or find livings. So do we process our running skills from our birth? So it means when we give birth, when we birth at times, we born into the world. So do we own the skills? Obviously, it's not. Run, we learn, okay, based on what we see and what we touch, we can feel, and what we observe. Okay, this is where we learn from the skill. We learn the skill as well. We're not born we can walk straight away, cannot. So what makes us a good runners? So these are the questions I always ask myself. So how can we be a better runners? So these are the things I will share with you more. Okay, let's define running. So what is running to you? Okay, you can comment to here. I will read it later on. So running to me is horizontal transferring the body from A to B point. This is called running, okay? Or some people may say moving your body from one leg to another. Means you keep on changing your leg, it's called running, okay? This some people talk about. Or some people even say, so running basically is faster than walking. So imagine you're a race walker, then it's slightly faster than them, or maybe it's just normal walking faster than them. This is people's perspective. And then I always ask, so what is natural runnings? So to natural runnings, to me, in post-method terms, is we also check from the dictionary. So natural is actually translated from the Greek. It's called physics. It means it's from origins, from beginnings, the original, how we do, the nature. Okay, the natures came from origins. It's called origin as well. Okay, so that is that's why postmodern define the natural running is the law of natural running. Okay, the law of nature as well. So in postmodern, usually natural running is not something you're born to have, but you run very effortless and relaxed. Okay, so and from the point of view of origins, the primary factor is surrounding, which is the gravity. Okay, so how do you use gravity to move your body, which has been exist from anything else, which is many years back. If you look back from Leonardo da Vinci's his diary inside got mentioned about the gravity actually makes these and etc. and from others as well. Okay, so different people have different technique. This is also one of the questions I always ask. So is it true? A common arguments people always say, oh, because you're tall, your leg length, your weight, your age, so you run differently. Okay, because you're 20 years old, so you run like elite. So 50 years old, you run like a senior citizens. So is that true? So what makes it impossible to have one technique? Can we just have one standards to everyone can use, just like a universal? Okay, this is always my question to you guys. So does a different running speeds require different mechanics? Which means, let's say I run 5K, 21K. So do I need a different techniques? This is one of the questions as well. I just give you another example, bench press. Okay, so when you're doing bench press, does it require a different set of mechanics or different peoples? No, right? Obviously, when you do bench press, the technique is just the same. The only difference, or maybe more rep. But the technique, the skill is still the same. There's no difference. But what makes running have a different techniques, different mechanics? Okay, this is my question to you guys. Now, again, the start of running. So people always say jogging, middle distance, sprinting, they all require a fundamental different style of running. Is that true or false? If you think it's true, please comment true. If you think it's false, please comment false. There's no right and wrong, it's just more like a discussion, okay? Okay, let me give you the answer. So basically, this is from elite runners, they're track and fields. This is the 400 meters. So you try to see their running form. How different is it? Okay, do they look like the same? The pose. This is the middle distance. And this is for long distance. So do you see they are like almost the same? Which is what we call the pose. Distance, short distance, or middle distance. This is why we need a standard. This is where the doctor discovered it into this analysis. That's why they call pose method. All the movement, all the sports start from one pose. So for the pose, you train, then you be more efficient, okay? And the pose is so important is because this pose is also connect to you and the gravities. It makes you how to move as well. And let me see another examples. This is Beckley, Gabriel Celeste, and Mo Farah. Okay, first one is the pose. Okay, this is where they back to the pose, which is support phase. And the second one, which is the falling phase. This is how people go faster. The faster you fall, and the further you fall, the faster you run. Okay, you can see during this race, Gabriel Celeste, Beckley is winning the race. So Mo Farah is the second. Okay, pulling will be the third one, recovery phase. Okay, let's look back just short distance. Usain Bolt, he did the same thing as well. Pose, falling, and pulling, which is the same elements they are using. Okay, there are no difference. Okay, these are the three elements I always mention: the pose, fall, and pull. Pose usually is for the support. Falling is to drive you to go faster. Pulling is the one who help you to recover. Okay, if you want to know more about this pose, fall, pull, please stay back to us. Okay. Okay, my questions. Second is why does if you don't know the running technique, you will have the issue for having a running injuries. Many runners, they have injuries issues. 2 out of 3, they have injury issues. Okay, let me show you some data. So this data I came from take from Postmethod. So they mentions about people who have running injuries have 85%, 82% due to heel strikes. Okay, let's look at another survey. This is so you look at the second one. The first one is blister. Of course, we don't call it. It's a real injuries. So 75% people have injuries for past 12 months. So the first one is knee pain. Usually when we talk about prevent knee injuries, the topic a lot of people came up with, ask us a lot of questions. Second will be the hip and plantar fasciitis. Okay, those are the quite serious injuries. Okay. So the quadrant injuries, usually we break into 3 parts. One is the trunk parts, the lower injuries, back injuries, and the foot pulls will be the muscle strength. And the landing part is the most injury, which is I always tell people do not overstride, which is this all came from Postmethod books mentioned about overstriding. So when you can see people run like they like to land ahead from the body, landing ahead from our body, or they have active landings. These are the things that cause your angles, your knee pain, your hip pains, IDBs, and ankle sprains, and others as well, like Achilles tendons as well. So the major injuries came from landing, which is overstride, which is and give you examples. I guess a lot of people read about this magazine before. When you mention names, you see how they run. Yeah, so it's so in the research, there's also showing that forefoot running actually is good for runners, and heel strike usually is bad for runners because why? You're creating a brake system. So when you're creating a brake system, the impact all going to your ankles, your knee, and your hip. Okay, let's go back from here. As you can see, the hips, the knee, and the ankles. So these are the issues who cause you injury, getting injuries, high chance of injuries. Okay, so this is one of the anatomic of strike. So the first two usually is the bad examples, which is you're doing heel strike. As you can see, there's a 3-point here. Is a joint absorb impact. So you see the angle absorbing impact. So you have plantar fasciitis, ankle sprains, shin sprains, you have knee pain, you have IGBs issues. Look at the second picture will be the midfoot strike. You also have an access to string your again, you try to twist your knee again, you have serious injury from knee. So the third one will be the pose. This is what we call you land below your body, which is we call the running pose. Everyone will go through. Even though you do heel strike, you will still go through to this running pose. So what we do is we try to cleansing. We do cleansing. So basically, we try to help the user to take away the overstride and heel strike or midfoot strike, and people back to this frame, which is called pole position. The running pose we call this is a frame. Okay, so then we teach people how to run faster, utilize the gravity to fall instead of push off or you do other things, funny things. So pulling will be if you want to run longer. So we teach you how to run, pulling your leg up. Okay, more efficient going uphill and downhill as well. Okay, so this is one of the research done by Harvard School. People who do forefoot running and heel strike. So heel strike, you can see the braking system is like 2 times brake. Boom, boom. Forefoot is like times you run, especially running very fast, it will cost you about 2 to 3 times of your body weight. Imagine if you're doing heel strike, it costs you maybe 2 times of heel strike weights. So you can see that the impacts go very high. Okay, this is the people run at the barefoot. Even though people run at the barefoot, but if they run at the heel strike, they will still have this impact. Okay, this is showing the body weight impacts. Okay, this is 2.4 times your body weight impact. You can see that. Okay, this is 2.4 and 2.4 when you're doing heel strike. Okay, and this is the right one, the impact transient. 2.4 go down, 2.4. You can see the forefoot landing is so much better versus the heel strike. Okay, but I'm not trying to tell you that doing some active landing and just focus on the foot, because running technique is in the whole body structures. So you need to focus the body alignment as well to understand. Okay. Okay, this is in our feet. Okay, so the heel strike, not heel strike, the heel, usually the foot of heel is here, this bone, and the midfoot is these 7 bones, and the forefoot will be the others like here. So these are the definitions of post method to talk about the heel parts, the midfoot part, and the forefoot parts. If you look back I would say mostly the Japanese shoes like Mizuno and Sis, right? You can see that their design usually will have these 3 parts: the heel strike, the midfoot parts, and the forefoot parts. You can turn around and take a look. Mostly are there. But the new generations of design, like most of the Euro brand, they will come in one piece. So you won't see this structure anymore. But from Japan, they still keep up those technologies. I mean, they still remain back the design, I would say the design. So it's very close to this 3 parts, okay? So again, heel strike, it will cost you about 0.25 milliseconds support time against support contact time, okay? So you look at midfoot, usually average support time is about 0.18 milliseconds. It's about, about that. Forefoot is about average. The fast runner, they can do up to 0.12 milliseconds, which is 120 milliseconds. 0.120 milliseconds for a watch, okay? All right, so, and again, our feet, usually we have a good shock absorptions, okay? If you land correctly, especially when you're running, you try to flex your knee. You don't lock your knee, okay? When you flex your knee, you land like supinate 4. This is the ball of foot. This is the supinate 4. Here to here, dot, 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 means you absorb the impact with provided your knee is flexed, okay? Okay, let's talk about shoes and orthodontic and some barefoot training. Okay, I bet a lot of people, they have a lot of shoes, okay? So usually market always tell you that when you... So again, in 1970s, there's a wide range of midsole, and currently I think there's a lot of cushioning technology shoes. And depending on runners, they are heel strike because most of the runners now, I would say majority, they are doing heel strike. So that's why you see those shoes, they have a lot of supports to help the runners to kind of like prevent the impact, to reduce the impact, or some is like return energies. The concept of heel strike must be artificial cushioning from the runners. Okay, so the concept, the outside they're trying to, you can see those shoes, the heel side is a lot of supports. Okay, it's specially designed for people who do heel strike. Okay. Okay, again, people always will define you when you go and buy shoes, the supinations, neutral, and pronations. So, of course, some I think is also due to the understanding of how to run. So people don't have ideas how to run. So usually they don't really look at how do they land. The running skills from there. So as a good runners, usually we analyze it. We saw a lot of good runners, usually it's like a forefoot runners. They are land on a supinate and supinate to the ball of foot, okay? Supinate 4, supinate 4. So those are good running technique as well. So again, to me, I'm a flat foot. So I don't really look at the pronations shoe or natural shoe, so-called. I just like to choose those shoe which is suit me. Like short distance, I will go for very thin, very light, very flat. If for long distance, usually I will buy with some support. Because long distance, usually it very depends on your calf and your elastics strength, okay, and your foot strength as well. That's why barefoot training is good. It is really, really good for runners. If you like to get stronger for your feet and for your calf, and you can try the barefoot. Because once you take off your shoe, right, you feel very light, and you can easily increase your cadence, which is very, very good. So I highly recommend people. Surface have to be very soft, like in a running track and in the football grass. Okay, make sure you don't run on the tar roads because it's gonna have later you worry you injured yourself for a blister or a hygiene issue. So those are the shoes. Many out there. There's a spike shoes. They have a flat racing flat. They have cushioning shoes. They have orthodontic. They have 5-finger vibrance. So to me, I think you have to see a few things. When you buy a shoe, are you running a short distance? So if you're running a short distance, of course, you use less support. And of course, if you're running a maybe ultra 50K and above, right, you need slightly a bit cushionings in case you really get tired, start to form go out, then you might need the shoes to give you some little bit support from there. But there's no shortcut again. You need to train your feet, okay, train your whole body, especially in drill and strength. These two have to come in together to help you, okay. Orthodontic, I don't really wear that is because I kind of don't believe that we need to understand what causes our feet weak. Is it because we lack of strength? Is it because we lack of mobility, stabilities? So end of the day, you still need to go and train that, okay? Because you don't use it, you lose it. Okay, if you don't use it, you don't build strength from your feet, from your calf, then you're gonna lose it. Okay. End of the day, I don't think you wear the orthodontic, it will help you to build some strength. That's not the way it be. Okay, maybe it will help you to correct back how you walk, how you do easy jog, but yeah, that's not for long terms. I still think you need to strengthen your feet. If you know you're already weak on the muscle or maybe one side dominant, so you need to go and train back. Okay, instead of you just buy something just like a pill, pop. Okay, I'm good. Then the next day you go back the same thing again. Okay, you're getting weaker and weaker. Okay. Okay, but skip this part. Barefoot running is good. Strengthen your feet, enhance your perceptions. Why I say enhance? You put on the shoes, just like wear glasses. Okay, you will slightly okay, but you keep on putting more and more cushionings. When you're running at time, you're like away from the ground. So basically, you are uncertain. You don't feel the perceptions of running. So if you can training the time, you can wear those like a racing flat or train on the barefoot, you will increase your perception, connect to the ground, so you have a better idea how do you run and how light you run. Okay, so it's really good. Okay. Oh, muscle effort. Okay, muscle effort. Basically, muscle effort in running, his role is to support us. So when you run a long distance, basically is to we need strength training, to be honest. Okay, with the strength trainings, if you I notice a lot of runners, they don't really do strength training, especially when they want to finish the 30% of the route. Let's say they've done dropouts, like burnout. It's all due to your skill set and also your strength trainings. Okay, so during the MCO times, a lot of people, they do home workout, which is good. You build out your strength. So do you notice when you came back to run an easy ride, although you're out of breath, but you notice your body don't get tired easily because you build up some muscles, I would call strength. Okay, so that the strength is good for you to hold your body structure and do exercise. Okay, so it support you to doing exercise. When you want to use it at time, you recall your muscle strength out, do exercise. It's like you're bending down and lift up, you take something, you go and do sit up, you go and carry a heavy stuff. Those are the strength you accumulate from normal. It's not now, okay, but it's accumulate. Okay, open for Q&A. Yeah, take this one. Oops. Oh, 안녕하세요. Question. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Feel free to answer for you. Okay, so yep, you can ask some questions. So to me, I think when you start back to run the first 2 weeks, right, you do some easy run first, and also don't push yourself, go too far. Try to adapt back the mileage. Okay, start back a slow jog, easy jog. Make sure your heart rate is below the breathing part, I would think, and try to use your nose more because try to feel comfortable. When you use your mouth to run, right, then you will feel like out of breath. So it means you go too fast. Okay, Nat Wong asks one question: why will do squat and deadlift help? Okay, so yes, I would say yes, because um, our body parts actually, when we run, right, we're absorbing the impact. So when you absorbing the impact, right, you need something to support, which is the muscles as well. So squat and deadlift is so help about from your glute and your leg strength. You actually basically when you do squat and deadlift, right, you're recruiting the strength. Okay, when you do a speed run and you do a long run, you use that strength. What happens if you don't do those kind of exercise, similar exercise, like you don't really build your hamstring, you don't build your glute, you don't build your elasticities, right? You do speed and you long distance, right? You suffer. You feel like, how come I cannot go fast? How come my heart is so high? How come I feel very tired? How come I injure myself? Those are the things you will feel when you do the exercise. Okay, if you have everything enough, you have your skill set, do long distance. Congratulations, you don't suffer so much. Yeah, that's my answer to you. It definitely will help. We're still training, how many K to start and how soon should we do an LSD? Okay, to me, my advice is you can start with the 3 to 5K easy run and listen to your body. Okay, so if your body tell you that after 5K you feel very tired and feel very exhausted, then you just stop. Okay, just listen to your body, because everyone is different, everyone's stamina is different. Because during the MCO, I bet a lot of people, they sit very long hours sitting, the glute will be very weak and the muscle is very tense. So I recommend before, you can do a few things during this start back 2 to 3 weeks. First thing first, I highly recommend people go and do foam roller. Why? Is because when your muscle is very tense, you need to relax it. Okay, release it. Okay, release it. Then you only go for run or you go for strength training. Okay, so this will help you to strengthen back, retain and regain backs. Okay, so after the training, you can also do a foam roll back, because training is not extra or add on. So you need to use it before or after, also no problem. Okay, so usually I will use it after. But sometimes if I don't do any exercise, right, before I sleep, I will do some foam roll and try to relax my bodies lah. So yeah, this is what I do. And you can start from, for your question, I think Jenny, you can start from 3 to 5K until you can run as easy, as relaxed as possible. Then you can start to increase to maybe 7 to 10K. So then after that, you can run a 10K. I think you can do an easy LSD 15 to 21K. It shouldn't be a problem. But I would say you need to slowly adapt back, because I just give you examples. You run 1 to 5K, right? Your form is okay. But after that, after 7K and above, right, your form out already. It means what? You're lack of 2 things. One is strength, one is speed. So you need to use that to gain back. Okay. Okay. How to ensure my injury is fully? You can do. I think first thing first, when you run 3 to 5K, right? If you notice some part is very tense or very pain, then your injury might not fully recover. This is the first thing. Second is after you exercise, right, the next day you feel very pain that part, right? Then you might need to go and see in the physiotherapy advice already, because we may not know what cause, how to say, how serious your injury are. Okay. How to ensure my? Okay, so to ensure your injury is fully recovered, usually when you do a speed work, you do an easy run, you do a LSD, there's no signal from the injury parts. Okay, so that means you are fully recovered. But sometimes, I would say most of the runners, right, when they have the old injury, right, they will kind of like in the mind concept state of mind, they will have that memories to, hey, don't fast. Later you have the ugly tendency again. So you will have this your mind telling you not to run too fast, because you will feel fear. You're trying to protect yourself. So, but you need to overcome it. Okay, how to overcome it is you need to test. You can do 2 things. One, you do a time trial or speed. time trial, maybe 3 to 5K, or you do a LSD. So from these two tests, right, you will see, is it you can fully perform back your old performance, or maybe I would say 70-80% is your old performance, then you're fine with it. Then you will overcome the fear again. So if not, if you feel discomfort or you feel pain again, then maybe you need to go back to visit your physiotherapy or the doctor to see in their advice. Yeah, that is my opinion. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Okay, guys. So if you really have more questions, I mean, to respect you guys for the times, because we are doing a half hours Facebook Live. So if you want and strength, right? So we have one program is called 3R program. So I'll just give a comment here. You can click and understand more. So this program is to help you to relax, regain, and retain and regains. How to help you to improve back your stamina. So because so this is the program we do, and we try to help the runners to get back their fitness levels. Okay, so any further questions? So to share today is just to share my opinions. How do you start back your trainings? What kind of things can you do? Always start back slow, and don't add too fast. Okay. So Sheeran. Okay, I'm a flat foot. My running skill, what running skill is recommended? Because I realized I always rubbing my toes as well. So basically, I use post method to overcome, to not wear the support shoe and also the orthotic. So to me, I think you first of all, I think you need to understand. Yeah, because the bad running, I would say the bad movement will cause you for a lot of issues like your rubbing your thumb toes and others like blisters. Because you do overstride, usually you have blisters and sprained ankles. So I guess those are things you need to really go and explore. So you can look for us. We can share with you more for the 3R program. How can you overcome that as well? Yeah. Just how to run fast back. Okay. Again, it's a foundations. You need to do this is the only way to help you to gain back the speeds. I would say the speed because I bring into a simple layman terms. Technique is the base of speeds. So this speed is the base of endurance. So without technique, you can't really go very fast. Without the speed, you can't really go very further like endurance. So you need to have technique, strength together, hook hand in hand. From there, you build your speeds. Okay. I always tell people, so running a 4 minute below pace is the result. But how you run it is really a skill and a strength together, work hand in hand together. Yeah. So my answer to you is technique and strength. These are the two things. Because I'm not sure your lack of which parts. Okay, so we need to kind of like usually my student, I will do an assessment. They will do a time trial. Then from there, I will understand what are the things they lack of. So usually from there, I can help them further. Okay, for your case. Oops. I guess for Shireen, Shireen's your flat feet is not a very big deal to be honest. Actually, there's many flat feet is a good runners out there. They even have podium runners as well out there a lot. So it's not a really big issues as long as you really for flat foot. I recommend you do a lot of some barefoot training to build up some strength on feet because most of the time because our feet is pretty flat. So it means the muscles is always touching the ground, so it's easy to get tired. So you need to do more calf training, or we call elastic training, and the foot training as well. Yeah. When do training, what type of shoe are better? Light type or heavy type shoe? Okay, if you talk about, I'm not sure. If you ask about the speed work training, I would say the racing fat is better because why? We need to run faster, of course. So I think the racing fat has two good things. Is when you run the time, your feet can really the sensor, so-called sensor, you can really feel the ground, the perceptions, which is you develop a good sense from that. Okay, this is the first one. Second, when you run faster, right, you feel lighter. So when you pull your leg up, the cadence is faster. You can really enjoy the speed workout. So that is my advice. If let's say you're doing a LSD training, I would say you need a little bit support just in case your calf is not strong. Then you start to like do other wrong movement. So you might need some cushioning shoes from that. Yeah. If you're doing speed work, then it's racing fat. But if you're doing like easy run and long distance, so I think it should be fine, no problem. Heavy type shoe, I'm not sure your. So yeah, heavy type shoe. So to me, training, I will still use a light shoes because why? I'm not doing like 30, 40K and above. So usually my longest run is about 20, 15K is LSD, the longest I run. So usually I think light shoe is fine for me because I'm a flat feet as well. So I think shouldn't be problems. Yeah, you need to get used to it. Most important is you need to have tested out the shoes, which one are more comfortable to use. If you didn't test it, then you buy it just wear for training, especially doing speed work, right? I noticed I have few pair of shoes when I do speed work, right? Some shoes are good for easy run, but not good for, it's a light shoe. It's not good for speed run. Okay. So when I use for speed run, then I got blistered, or I feel very discomfort my feet. Some shoes are good for speed and good for easy and good for LST. Shoe. I don't have an exact answer, but to me, I would say the lightweight shoe is good enough for me to do training. If you go for racing like ultra marathon, some people they wear other brands that have more support shoes, cushioning shoes. Reason why is because their calf is a bit weak, so they cannot support them. So they need the cushioning shoe to help them to give them some support. And wearing a light shoe, you also need to take note one thing. If your calf is weak, right, you cannot handling the shoe. You easily feel very soreness from calf. Okay, but it's a good sign because you're using correct calf to absorb the impact. It's a good sign. Oh, Crystal also flat foot. Okay, cool. I'm a flat foot, no problem. So yeah, my advice to you, because usually the speed work training we don't do more than 10 km for us lah. So I think a lightweight shoe should be good enough. But if, hope my answer help you. Cool. I guess we can enjoy some good Malay food if celebrating. So yeah, if you are celebrating for tomorrow Raya, then yeah, good. Take a 2-day rest. Go for a jog. Okay, if no further questions, I'm gonna say good night to you guys. Thank you for staying back, listening, and yep. Good night, guys.